Hey everybody, welcome to lesson 7. We're going to take a look at today's working with masks, and then after the lesson, we're going to take a look at the second project, which is kinetic type, and we'll kind of talk through that part when we get there. So what we're going to take a look at today is creating masks using a pen tool, playing with mask modes and shapes, that kind of thing, playing around kind of feathering and adjusting. Essentially, the idea of masking is the same as like you've done in Photoshop or Illustrator. We're just going to do this with video instead. So we'll play around it also with 3D spaces. We'll get kind of a little bit of a tease of that. We'll do more with 3D spaces as we move forward. And then we'll take a look at kind of creating like shadow and vignette effects. So everything for today's lesson is inside the lesson 7 folder. So if you click on working with masks, you're going to find a download file. Is going to contain these two, CTurtle and tablet video.move. And we're going to start by opening up After Effects and throwing these things in our project bin. So let me get started with that. Now, first thing I want to do is I want to get them out of the project bin and into my comp layer window. So what I'm going to do is grab the tablet video.move. There's two of them. I'm going to grab this one. And when I drag it in here, what it's going to automatically do is essentially just create the comp based on these settings. So I don't have to do any of that heavy lifting. It's all kind of right there. If I go into comp settings, I'll verify that this is a 1920 by 1080 standard HD TV, 29 frames per second, and we're at a 12-second video. Now, before I get too far, I want to kind of scrub forward, and this isn't really much of a video. It's almost more of just a still piece where the color just fades in. And then the other piece that we have is this CTurtle.move, and it looks like it's just this kind of like little turtle. So what we're going to do is we're going to mask the screen off and play this video so it looks like it's playing on this screen. So in order to do that, first thing we're going to need to do is create a mask, and we're going to do that using the pen tool. But what I want to do is I want to scrub forward to the 2-second mark where the video gets to full color for me to create that. So I'm at exactly 2 seconds. And I'm going to come up here to my pen tool. You should see it right there. Pen tool is going to work exactly how it does in Illustrator. I'm just going to click on the corners. Now notice there is stuff kind of stacked in front of here. So what I'm going to do is just kind of go around this. If it's not perfect, I'm not too concerned about that. I just want to get it in the ballpark. And from here to here, to this point. And I'm just going to do a rough clip first, and then I'll come back and clean up my edges. Connect that. Now what I can do is with this tool, I've got some of my additional like add, delete, convert points. So here, if I need to convert a point down or scrub this in a little bit, that's looking good. Now, the problem I'm running into is with my mask. Right now, I can't see anything. I need to invert this mask. So what I'm going to do is with this layer selected, what I'm going to do is I'm going to press my M button to show my mask properties. And right now it's just regular. I want to change this to inverted. So now I can see the mask, and then I can see where maybe like I screwed up a little bit, or I need to like move my points around a little. So grab pen tool, just shift this over. And that's pretty good for the sake of what we're doing here. Now, that's how you can create the basic mask. Now, once I have the mask created, what I want to do is I want to fine tune this thing, adjusting my points with my selection tools, and then feathering off the edges so that it isn't kind of that hard edge. Now, the way I'm going to do that is with my mask selected, I'll press my F button, and it's going to jump to this mask feather. And I'm going to turn my feathering up. I'm going to set this to about 3 pixels. Now, it doesn't look like a whole lot. It's just kind of a lighter blur, but that's just going to kind of smooth off that edge a little bit, just so it isn't quite so rough. Now that I have a mask in place, After Effects is kind of smart. I'm going to drag in my CTurtle, and because I stack it underneath, now at this 2-second mark, I want to set it so that it begins there. So I don't want to see it until right here. And then as I scrub forward, there's my turtle. Now, what I want to do though is I don't want to just kind of default this in. I want to grab this layer and I want to play around with the settings of this thing. So here underneath my kind of settings for the CTurtle, it's just going to give me like a default. So it's just basically an object that I can kind of drag around, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a couple things. I'm going to rotate this a little bit so I can just kind of scrub this in either direction. So maybe I'll rotate it just a little bit. And I did that by pressing R. And then I can also scale this down. Remember to hold your shift key to force that perspective. What I want to do is I kind of want to make it fit in here as nicely as possible. Now the thing you're going to run into, and this is kind of a weird thing, but here we're on a flat object and we're trying to match something that's like in a 3-dimensional space. So there's actually a 3D setting that we can include that's part of After Effects. If you take a look on your timeline here, it says CTurtle, and I've got all these little check boxes. This one right here looks like a 3D box. I'm going to check that box. And what that does is that gives me some options. So now I can kind of rotate it forwards or backwards. So what I'm going to try and do is just kind of rotate it so it matches that shape a little bit more closely, just so my perspective seems correct. Now it looks like size-wise, I'm probably a little bit small here. I'm gonna hold my shift key and just go a little bit bigger, just so that it's kind of hitting all those edges. And I'm happy with that. So when I'm done, I can click away to deselect it. And now my mask works. I've got my content inside of it, and it's kind of adjusted exactly where I want it. Now, I do want to fade this in a little bit. So now it just kind of snaps into place. What I'm going to do is at the 0-second mark here, I'm going to collapse all this stuff, and then I'm going to go into my opacity. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press my T button. It's going to reveal my opacity settings here. So I'm going to check my opacity box. I'm going to set this to 0. And then I'm going to scrub forward to about 3.5 seconds. And I'm going to bump it back up to 100. So here what it should do is it'll kind of fade that in. So the color fades in, and then my screen fades in as well. So now that I've got that kind of doing what I want it to do, next thing I want to take a look at is kind of adding in a little bit more kind of photorealism to this. So what we're going to do is here we've got like this kind of stuff in front of it. We can see a little shadow here, but we don't really see anything on the screen. It's maybe a little too kind of pixel perfect. So what I want to do is I want to add in an additional shadow. Now, in order to do that, we're going to need to add in another layer to turn into a shadow. So what we're going to do there is we're going to add in with something called a solid. So I'm going to go up to my layer menu. I'm going to go down to new and then solid. You can also achieve this just by right clicking anywhere in this panel and doing new solid. Now I'm going to call this thing my shadow. For a color, I'm just going to give it like a dark gray. Something like that's probably good. And I want to make it the whole size of my comp. So I'm just going to do this make a comp size. And basically what it does is it creates this new object, stacks it to the top of my layer in my timeline. And I want to jump this thing all the way back to the beginning because any edits I want to do, I want to apply to the whole clip. And what I want to take a look at doing is adding in a shadow area on top of there. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this existing mask that I have on here. If I click down, I can reveal my mask, and I'm just going to click on mask 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as kind of like a copy that I can just grab that bottom shape and then just kind of add some shadowing in by adjusting my lines a little bit. So now that I've got my new my shape made, I've got my mask selected. I'm going to do a Command C or edit copy. Then I'm going to go to my shadow layer and do a paste command. And now it just pasted that mask onto my shadow layer. So now I've got that new one added in here. I'm going to hide all my properties for everything else. I just want to see my shadow area. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit M to see my mask properties. And I've got a path and I've got it inverted. So I can uncheck this inverted. I can just see it this way. And now I can see the shape and kind of how it fits over the whole area. And I don't want it to cover the whole screen because if it's covers the whole screen, I never actually see my turtle movie. So what I want to do is with this object selected, I want to kind of clean this object up and make it a little bit smaller. So now that I've inverted this thing, I'm going to take my pen tool and I'm just going to kind of adjust my points here. So I'm going to bring it into about here. Maybe I'll grab this point and I'm just going to kind of do it like a quick grab of these. Maybe from here to like here or so. That's probably good to get me started. Then I can either delete out. So like if I have extra points that I want to get rid of, I can get those out of there. I'm going to go in with my convert point tool and just kind of stretch that out. Just kind of give it a shape, something like that. It doesn't have to be perfect because what we're going to do is we're going to kind of feather this off a little bit anyways to kind of give a little more of that shape. I just want to kind of follow that line a little bit. So now that I have my box or my shape created and kind of fine-tuned, what I want to do is I want to play around with my mask feathering tool, which is hidden underneath your pen tool. And what I can do, and let me jump forward here so I can see it, is I'm going to click on any one of these points and I can kind of drag out, and you can see this way, kind of gives me a little bit more of a control on how that looks. And then now that I can see that and my feather, now if I want to adjust my points down, it'll kind of give me a little bit better idea of what that shadow is going to look like. Now, the other thing I want to pay attention to is this shadow should be a shadow. My opacity right now is full, so I want to knock that opacity down. So I'm going to select that object, and I'm going to hit my T key, and that takes me down to my opacity. And I'm going to have this thing set, maybe let's go 20, 30%, something like that. Still want to see it, but I want it to be subtle. So if I click away, now I can kind of just see that hint of it, and that's kind of giving me the effect that I'm looking for. Now, if I want to, what I can do is I can adjust the mode on this thing. So if you take a look here, right now my blending mode is set to normal. Maybe I want it a little bit darker. There are blending modes just like there are in Photoshop. So what I can do is if I go into this little drop area here, my little dock options for my timeline, it shows me all these different columns that I can show. It does not default to showing modes. I have to turn that on. So I'm gonna click columns and then modes, and then it shows me this mode. So for my shadow, if I want, I can set this to maybe like darken and darken that up a little bit. Subtle, but I think it does a little bit more of what I'm looking for. And again, because this is an editable object, at any point, if I'm not happy with it, or I want to adjust kind of my points, how they sit, how they look, any of that stuff, I can kind of fine tune, make this bigger, smaller, adjust my lines, just kind of get exactly what it is I'm looking for in terms of the effect. So that looks good. Click away to deselect. And now if I play back, I see the shadow there real lightly. Video fades in and then plays back. So I've got that nice feathering. It kind of smooths off. It's somewhat believable in terms of kind of the overall look of it. So last thing I'm going to do now is create a vignette, which is basically just a way to darken edges and kind of focus image or area on one part of your image. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm just going to focus in kind of on that pad area. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to scrub all the way back to the beginning, and I'm going to make another one of those new solids. So I'm going to right click and do a new solid. And this is going to be my vignette. Color, I'm going to make black. And this is basically the same idea. I'll make it as a comp size. And the same thing, I'm going to make a mask, only this time instead of doing it with a pen tool, I'm just going to do it with the ellipse tool. So I'm going to kind of grab this shape, cover right over this. And now on this, what I want to do is I want to change how my settings are so this kind of blends out a little bit better and kind of gives me that kind of visual focused area. So what I'm going to do is from my mask menu here, right now I have it set to add. I'll try this to subtract. So now it just basically inverts that mask. Now the other thing I want to do is I want to play around with feathering, right? This is like way too harsh on the edge. I'm going to bump that way up. So my mask feather, I'm going to set this to like 200. 200 by 200, that's a little bit better. I probably can go even a little bit more. Let's scrub this up a little bit more. There we go. So I think that's kind of blending out the way I want it to. Now for my mode, I'll set this to screen, kind of play around with how that looks. Actually, I'm going to leave that off for right now because what I want to do is I want to scrub forward and kind of see how it looks once my image is fully in here. I think I could probably go a little bit bigger with this, or I could adjust my vignette a little. So I'm going to grab these points, kind of adjust over. And now because this is a pen tool, I can kind of fine tune this thing to give it that area of focus that I'm looking for. So now again, if I wanted to like maybe turn up my feathering a little bit, reveal a little bit more, maybe I can bring this down a little bit. But that's basically kind of taking me exactly where I want to go with this. So I'm kind of visually focusing that area in. And because this is an overall object, I'm seeing this across the entire length of the video clip. So that's pretty much it as far as working with masks. Really the big idea when you're thinking about this is whenever you're masking, just think about making things look realistic. Try to get your feathering in as good as you can. Really like looking at kind of how these different pieces are going to come together. When I'm taking a look even now, like I kind of scrub through the whole thing, like I could probably fine tune a little bit, maybe bring this in just a tiny bit, just so there's that slight edge of black that I'm seeing on the other side. And the nice part about it is because this is a pen tool operation, it's going to allow me to go back and make those adjustments in real time. So here I could probably bump it up a little bit there. But again, those are kind of the details you're looking for, but really nice way of kind of adjusting this. This is going to be really helpful as one technique to consider when we're jumping into the next project, which is going to be the Kinetic type. So when you're done with this thing, make sure you stop and save it, and then you'll export this out through Media Encoder as an MP4 and send that out to me. And rather than you watch me do that, what I'm going to do now is jump into the next project. So if you guys want to jump back into Blackboard, underneath projects, the new project is now available for you. It's called Kinetic Type. And first thing we're going to do is take a look at project requirements. I have some examples for you guys, a tool that's super helpful with this, and then a submission folder that you'll drop in it. Now, the idea for this is that you're going to create a 30-second video that focuses on creating lyrics, like kind of visually displaying lyrics that go along and are cut on beats with corresponding imagery for a song of your choice. So you're going to be kind of thinking about what the song is, what the imagery that's appropriate, and then creating the lyrics that kind of cut on beat along with it. I have some cool examples to show you guys in just a second. As far as grading, your final clip will be at least 30 seconds long. If you want to go a little longer, that's fine. Song of your choice. I'll show you guys how to grab any song and convert it out into MP3 or any video and convert it out into MP4. This is a great practice project, but this one isn't particularly friendly with copyright infringement stuff. So if you're going to post it to YouTube, don't expect that to fly too far. This is really just more of like a practice project. But if you do at any point want to host it on your own webpage, you can post MP4s, and we'll kind of talk about that a little bit more next semester when we get into your portfolios. As far as file setup, this is standard HD, so 1920 by 1080, 29 frames per second. You'll need a minimum of 2 video clips. Your type should be sequenced to the song clips. Effects are applied to your type clips. You should use a masking effect at one point. And you'll also need to use the roto brush tool. Roto brush is something that you're going to see next in the next lesson. Really fun tool. Get some really cool stuff with it. And then again, you'll need at least 3 additional image assets. So it'd be great on the aesthetics, how it looks, the technical, how it plays. All the file requirements are met. And then we'll do kind of like a little show and tell, I think, with this, just so you guys get a chance to kind of take a look at each other's. Now, as much as it is like fun to like, talk about this, let's see some stuff here. If you take a look, this is an example. This was like an official artist video. You're not going to hear the lyrics too well, but this is absolutely an After Effects project, and this was submitted by the artist themselves. So just kind of like fun little stuff that's done. You're seeing like video assets. There's like a masking technique here, additional pieces that are kind of jumping along with it. So kind of like a fun one, but that's really the idea. And you want to think about cutting on beats. So that's the idea of it. Now to take a look at some student stuff, there's the submission folder here. You can kind of click through some of these and take a look at things that I've done in the past. Joe's from last semester was really good. It was really fun. So if you want to take a look at that one, there's a finished version here. And she did some kind of fun stuff with, I'm going to skip ahead a little bit. Bring in a bunch of different video clips. She found a lot of transparent background video assets that she could stack. And the sequencing is great. So that's what you want to pay attention to, is the sequencing to the video. The stacking there, how it's stacked in front of and behind the asset. Something to take a look at with the roller brush tool. So that's the idea. You're essentially making a lyric video. I do have some extra tools here. This YouTube to MP3, MP4 converter is awesome. I use it all the time. All you're doing is just going to YouTube, copying and pasting the link here, and you can tell it if you want it as an MP3 as a song or MP4 as a video, and just hit convert, and it will convert it out right to your computer, throws it right in your downloads folder, and then you can use that as an universal asset. As far as format, After Effects has no problem with this. So it's a really great way of finding songs, additional video clips, that kind of thing. There's tons of assets available to you. Obviously, we saw that at the beginning of the semester doing the research, and now just obviously here with this YouTube converter, pretty much anything you find on YouTube, you can use in this video. So that will be the project. We'll do a little bit more as far as check-in at the next session. Otherwise, I'm going to turn you guys loose. There is a technique tutorial kind of link here with a bunch of different things for you to kind of take a look at too, if you're feeling a little stuck. But really what I recommend doing is just find a song, and as a big tip, one you like, because you're going to hear it over and over and over again. People tend to get sick of the song they pick. So maybe it's one that you're okay getting sick of hearing, or you've already listened to death, but you're going to hear it over and over in tiny little minuscule scrub back and forth seconds to get the beats on cut. So that's it for this lesson. I'll see you guys for the next session, where we will take a look at the roto brush tool and your progress for the Kinetic site project. Thanks.